Yes. All right, guys, welcome to Baffled. This is the podcast where we want to help you understand your misunderstood teen. So if you're here for the first time, make sure you hit like, subscribe. If you're listening to us wherever podcasts you listen to them at, whether Spotify, Apple, make sure you follow us. Because today and probably for the next couple of episodes, we're going to be diving into the heart of what it means to really guide young people through the chaos of growing up in today's world. So whether you are a youth worker wondering why traditional approaches aren't connecting, or a parent and just feel like you're just losing your teenager to a culture that you barely even recognize. So this conversation is for you. So today we are joined with someone who spent 2 decades in the trenches, specifically with at-risk youth. He didn't just study adolescent development in a textbook, he lived it. So growing up in navigating a fractured home, finding hope through faith and hip hop as a teenager, Marc's story mirrors so many of the youth that we encounter on a day-to-day basis. And he serves as a mentor for Man Up through the Higher Life program at Blake High School and Tampa. So Marc, welcome to Baffled, bro.
Yes. Thanks for having me, bro. I appreciate it. Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure, brother. Today we're going to be talking about resilience matters, teaching youth how to bounce back. One of the things I've observed, particularly like the generational gap between Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha, is how fragile young people are compared to past generations. Is that something that you kind of see in the schools today, or even with the youth that you're ministering to?
Yeah. It seems that there's a lot more stress, you know what I'm saying? A lot more anxiety, it feels like. And we kind of see that with the whole mental health crisis push now has been more accepted, so to speak, amongst men in specific. But yeah, I definitely see the lack, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The lack of emotional intelligence,
Yeah.
really being able to navigate emotions and just the natures of life and plight as a teen.
Why do you think that is? Why is it that, because I grew up in a single parent household.
Yeah.
So why is it that my generation, our generation, like we know when that life is hard and we can navigate through it. Whereas 20 years later, you have a bunch of kids who, like, the moment something bad happens, they just want to give up.
Yeah, no, that's good, bro. It's a great observation. I think like for our generation, maybe because we seen a little more resilience at times, and I mean I even thinking about sports right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of youth not participating as much. You know what I'm saying, in sports, which naturally building some of those skills with whether you're playing, resistance training, etc. Those things. I think when we have everything at our fingertips, it kind of promotes ease, promotes comfort, and we know that doesn't build muscle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I'm just going to lift 5-pound weights, that's all I'm going to do and not increase. I'm not resisting anything. I'm not putting resistance, my muscles under resistance to grow.
You just reminded me, like, for example, driving through Tampa, it depends on one time of day because it's always hot. But if I drive through different parks, it's empty. Like the basketball course is empty. And if I do see players playing, it's typically older guys getting a run in. Whereas when I was a youngster, like, I would go to the park and that was the way I would practice. Whereas, because I coached at the Y, where now parents are now investing in a lot of one-on-one trainers. Like, the kids don't go to the park and scrimmage. So even that, I can see an element where going to the park by yourself, not knowing who's going to be there, playing with a bunch of strangers, that in and of itself teaches you how to kind of be resilient, as opposed to having everything tailor-made for you. Like, this is not a stranger. There's someone we trust. And even a lot can be said even about that.
That's good.
So tell me, so you mentioned young boys. So at Blake, your program is specifically for young boys, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
So we go like fit, basically sophomore to senior.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with some of those students, is there a common thread because they've graciously opened the doors for you to kind of mentor the kids that they would deem at risk? Yeah. Are there certain things that, like, commonalities that some of these students have? Like, we don't want, I'm not a fan of people when they overuse statistics to kind of paint a broad brush, paint these kids in a negative light. But is there a common thread, like fatherlessness, dad not being in the home, or maybe is like not just dad being in the home, but just no positive male role models, any of that? What's going on? What do you see?
Yeah, for sure. No, it's good. That's absolutely the case. You know what I'm saying? 99% of my students are growing up in fatherless homes or single parent homes, whether mom's gone or whether dad's gone. And the majority of the time, dad is gone.
Yeah.
And so that's one common thing. And then it's interesting because in my first introduction of who I am to them, meeting with them, we talk about that. We talk about mentor. We talk about father figure. And I posed the question, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who do you look up to and why? And sometimes cats say mom, sometimes cats say nobody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So there's nobody oftentimes really present. And I mean, some cats, I'm like, be honest, be truthful with me. Like, who do you look up to? I mean, they'll say NBA young boy. They'll say the people that are influencing them. I mean, it's rare that cats are saying like my older cousin or something like that because he did XYZ, but that happens. The influence, you know what I'm saying? The presence of a positive role model, a father or mentor is often lacking.
So we have a ministry that we work alongside called Shepherd's Village, and Shepherd's Village is geared towards helping single moms, get a better future for them and their kids. And we have a lot of things in place for single moms because unfortunately there's a generation of young boys who are not taught how to be men. So they end up jumping ship. They get their girlfriend pregnant and abortion is not on the table and they want to keep the baby, and praise God that they keep the baby. But then they want to have all the fun void of the responsibility. And that's something that we've talked about when we grab coffee, this idea of accountability and responsibility. And one of the things that stood out from our conversation, that one of the questions you've posed is, who's the hardest person that you need to submit to or respect or obey? And how one of the students just said God. So tell me a little bit of that encounter.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's that was in our first session last year at Blake. Well, with our first cohort of students, and it was with our authority subject, our authority session. And in that session, we posed the question: who's the hardest person for you to obey? And why? And most cats is like, my mama, you know what I'm saying? This person, teachers, etc. And one student's like, man, to be honest with you, hardest person for me to obey is God. And his buddy next to him, this guy next to him, is like, dang, I wasn't trying to go that deep, but it is that deep, right? And so he's like, yeah, because I be sinning. You know what I'm saying? So I think there's this reality, you know what I'm saying, that, I mean, some people, background, upbringing, some people have exposure to God, church, etc. But I don't think we can presume that that's the case anymore, that people are just grew up in the church, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't grow up in the church. You know what I'm saying? I didn't hear about Adam and Eve until I was like 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's important to meet people where they're at on their journey. Never assume. And I think the beauty in that student, you know what I'm saying, sharing that, he opens the floor. You know what I'm saying? Because like, my purpose in being there is to help and serve these young boys. I want to see them flourish, you know what I'm saying, in every area of life. And that includes spiritually, you know what I'm saying? So,
and those young boys don't really have a lot of people who have their best interests at heart.
For sure.
And even when someone does come alongside that wants to help them, you're met with suspicion. Like, hold up, well, what's in it for you? Like, what do you really want? Like, you really were trying to do this out of kindness? You really do this because you care about me? Like, they have a hard time receiving that type of kindness. So So when you're looking at some of these boys, a lot of them have a chip on their shoulder. They feel like it's them against the world. What is it about resilience, like teaching them about resilience, that helping them navigate that it's not about being tough, but more or less like, no, it's about being rooted and knowing who you are, or not letting the situation or the circumstance get the best of you, that, this too shall pass, in a sense that this is just a season, this is just a moment, and you can bounce back from this. How do you help young boys kind of navigate through that, whether it's failure, maybe they didn't make the basketball team, maybe they didn't get the job that they wanted? How do you help them navigate some of that stuff?
Yeah. I think like obviously like affording them the space, right? The space to be open and honest. And like you said before, they chip on their shoulder, suspicion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that trust, you know what I'm saying, has to be built. And I think for me it's important that like if I say something, I gotta do it, bro. You know what I'm saying? I gotta follow through. Why? Because they've heard it said a lot. They've heard things promised, et cetera, and it not articulate, you know what I'm saying? Not come to fruition for them. And so I think I have to model resilience. I have to be honest and open and vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And if I do that, you know what I'm saying, it's one of my kind of guidelines for the space that I built at Blake. It's like, hey, there's no cap in here. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be taking my time out and being real with you, you know what I'm saying, I expect the same thing. And students being comfortable enough to open up to share what's happening in their world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Allows me to navigate and assist. You know what I'm saying? It's really like formulating and setting the ground so that they can be open and we can have those conversations when they arise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether it's about girls, you know what I'm saying? Which comes up a lot, relationships, or pushing through with the teacher that they may not be a fan of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like we like to say in our space, like our number one guideline is respect. You know what I'm saying? And it's not earned. And like we've heard it, oh, you got to earn my respect. That's not it for us, especially in my space. Respect is owed because we all have dignity. Even if I'm not a fan of a teacher, I still have to show them respect. So it's being honest. It's really admitting when you've dropped the ball, which is very hard for men to do.
That's right.
But I think that builds a culture, you know what I'm saying, a mindset that, hold on, I can be myself, I can be seen, and I can also be challenged and encouraged, you know what I'm saying, and come with the things that I'm facing that are difficult and receive, you know what I'm saying, guidance. I had a young man the other day, I'm taking him home from boxing, and he was just like, man, I'm just so grateful for Men Up. Like, I just want to be around y'all, you know what I'm saying, and glean wisdom. And I'm like, wait a minute.
How old are you?
Exactly. It's like, how do you get to that point though? You know what I'm saying? By being present, by investing. Like, we got to be here. This work that we're doing is, I like to say, it's not sexy.
Yeah, it's gritty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you want something that's going to be like snap worthy, Instagram worthy, this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? You can come in from time to time and catch something, but hey, this hard work at times. You might have students that are real upset at times, you know what I'm saying? People out, et cetera, et cetera. But it's the nature of the work. So
when it comes to young boys in general, like it's a pet passion of mine. The way when I say the system, like the educational system, everything is stacked up, is designed to punish boys and for girls to succeed.
Yeah.
And this is not in any way, shape, or form to say that girls shouldn't succeed. The fact that boys are penalized for having energy. Yeah, they're penalized because they can't sit still, not knowing that young boys, you're penalized because you don't know how to communicate verbally, and we are biologically different.
Yeah, for sure.
So young girls find it easier to express their emotions, to express what's going on. And again, that's in general, not everybody.
Yeah.
But the education system is designed in a way where it punishes boys and it rewards girls. And then it makes total sense when you look at the statistics that 60% of college graduates are now female. So now you have these young boys who feel like the world is actually against them. So you come in being a positive role model. How is it? And I rarely like to go in this direction, but we have a lot of the way that our audience is geared. We want to equip parents. So because we partner with a ministry that's empowering single moms, how would you like counsel or encourage a single mom who has teenage young boys and they're influenced by like the Andrew Tates and the Fresh and Fits, as opposed to someone in a pillar of the community.
Yeah.
Whether it's KB or whether it's you, someone who serves in nonprofit work, really in the trenches trying to help them, but they're enamored by the guy on YouTube who's saying a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, how do you help the single mom trying to navigate like her not losing her young boys?
Yeah. No, it's great. I love that question. I think too. So we were at a small group the other day, and we're going through this book called Fathered by God. One of the dudes in the group, he just posed a question like, "Yo, do we think that like single moms, like what if they just embodied the Beatitudes?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Would boys get enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, would they have enough without dad being present?" And I think the answer is no, because, I mean, you can look at statistics, but I think just because the way God has designed the home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I would definitely like say to single moms, get your boys around positive men.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Positive mentors. Because though I'm sure your sons love you dearly and cherish you dearly, there are just arenas and avenues that they are navigating that mom can't speak into.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that just say a man understands, you know what I'm saying? He resonates with, he's been there, he's charted this path, you know what I'm saying? And in that same book, Fathered by God, the author talks about being in Alaska, right? And they were kayaking, and they took a break, and they were walking through the forest, and they found this grizzly bear path. And this is the path that these grizzlies have taken for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So the tracks are there, they're laid. You know what I'm saying? Those tracks are laid. And the young cubs, they follow, they mimic those tracks to navigate and get to where they need to go on a journey. You know what I'm saying? These boys are journeying. And if they're not being equipped with the skills to navigate adolescence, to navigate manhood, you know what I'm saying? Because let's be real, society from the outside looks at our 16-year-old boys not as 16-year-old boys,
no,
as men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they'll treat them as that. And so, yeah, I think just being honest, being honest with what you can give and what you can't give, and asking for help.
Yeah, I think asking for help is key, mainly because the again, I want to speak in generalities. The mom is wired to nurture, and because mom is wired to nurture, she's not gonna want her boys to go through difficulties.
Yeah.
And as dads, you're like, no. Difficulties are good.
Yeah, you got to push through.
Difficulties is what's gonna teach them resilience.
Yeah.
We got this book right here, Anxious Generation, and he talks a lot about parachute parenting and how there's now a new generation of parenting that is different. And I watched it today. It popped up on my Instagram feed where a mom says, we read The Anxious Generation and we started to give our boys little responsibilities. So we're at this resort. We've been here for 2 weeks now. We're getting ready to leave, but we're going to watch from afar. They don't know we're watching because we can see where the Starbucks is at, but we're going to send our 2 sons to go to the other side of the resort, to go to Starbucks, grab us our coffee and come back by themselves. And as I opened up the comments, I can see how many moms are like, what is wrong with you? Do you not know how unsafe this world is? And then I sit back and I wonder, I was like, when did we get here? Because I remember I would go to the store by myself at 8, 9 years old, go buy a gallon of milk and come right back. There were certain things that, when was there a switch that activity was now deemed dangerous? Like, I was a teenager on a bike out doing God knows what. My parents had no idea where I was at. They weren't tracking me. And all I knew is that I needed to be home before the streetlights came on.
Absolutely.
And it's like, what happened? But it was those things where I would go to the park and mom was not there to rescue me, where I had to learn conflict resolution. I had to learn to stand up for myself. I had to learn certain things, which makes me a better man today. Even if, even with my dad being in the picture now, It's like there's certain things that only a dad can teach you. Whereas even now we have little ones at home where my son will fall and I'm like,
yes,
let me watch him for a second before we rescue to see if, because we've seen him manipulate already.
Yeah.
We've seen him get up, and if he looks, he doesn't cry. But then if we show a face, he'll start crying.
Yep.
And I'm like, no, let's not rescue. Let him get up.
Yeah.
So even with that, so you mentioned like even asking for help. So where does like the role of community kind of build in? Like when you're looking at these boys at the high school, how are you trying to help them find the community that they need as well? Because I know we serve in faith-based organizations, and we're being allowed into spaces that you can't really talk about it, but if they open up the floors, like you kind of can talk about it. So how do you kind of encourage these young boys to find a community that actually wants to develop them, wants them to grow, help them develop resilience and all of that?
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it. It's being a resource, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Every case I don't want to use case. Every student's journey is different.
Mm-hmm.
So providing them with my Rolodex, my network, you know what I'm saying, of influence, so that they can have access. I think a lot of times they don't have access.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I even look? You know what I'm saying? When I was talking to that same young man, I was like, yo, you can't be the smartest one in your group. You know what I'm saying? You won't grow that way. And he was like, what you mean? And we just taking that further. If I'm just the smartest one, like that's it. Like there's no challenge, there's no push for me to excel and go to the next level. So just being a resource, man. Like, so, man, I'll just bring up this one story where this young man, he needed money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he resorted to selling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On campus. Yeah, like it was very difficult for him to open up and share that because the situation went down where he was kind of forced to. But he was very reluctant. He got jumped and came to my classroom, came to my space. And me and another student are talking with him, and he's sharing a story, but the story not adding up.
Yeah, he's leaving out some certain details. So you're leaving out certain things to kind of make this make sense.
Yes. And then he finally comes to a point where he's like, this is a safe space, right?
Yeah.
I said, absolutely. And so he shares what went down. You know what I'm saying? He shares that his mom had passed.
Yeah.
Not too long ago. He's living with his dad. There's tension there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He feels like his pops is going to kick him out as soon as he turns 18.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's got nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's got nothing to show for it. He's not from here.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I just immediately jumped in, bro. And I was like, how much were you selling XYZ for?
Mm-hmm.
What's your cash app?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I sent him the money.
Yeah.
And I said, stop selling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Stop selling. You need a job? I'll help you get a job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's that, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Jumping in there, you know what I'm saying? And providing real solutions.
Yeah.
Not just, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but how?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I have real needs here. You know what I'm saying? Real issues that I'm facing on my plate that I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll resort to the thing that I've seen that brings in money, right?
Yeah.
We've seen cast TV, whatever, etc. You know what I'm saying? The glorification of drug culture. I need a little money. Let me just do and do my thing. But that only goes so far, we know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Before you get caught up and before things go south for you.
Yeah.
And you got to keep looking over your shoulder. Where I'm gonna teach you how to fish. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna teach you how to.
I'm not gonna give you fish. I'm gonna teach you.
Yeah, I'm not just gonna give it to you. I'm gonna teach you, so that you can be productive. You know what I'm saying? And be sustainable, so to speak. So it's things like that. That's a rare case. We got to be there to know. You know what I'm saying? We got to be there to know the need.
Yeah. In the scriptures talks about when he's talking about faith without works is dead. He says if a brother comes to you in need and then you tell him, go be well off, knowing that you can meet that need, you're in the wrong. How can you tell, like, if you have the resource to actually bless and be the answer to prayer, but you're saying, go be well, I'm gonna pray for you, knowing that you can actually be the answer to prayer, God says you're in the wrong for that. And I had a similar situation, young man, like he's feels all the pressure in the world. Baby mom is about to give birth, and he like has nothing really going for himself and resorts to the same thing. And I tell him, bro, what is wrong with you? He was like, I said, I need to make some money. I was like, bro, but go, like, Wendy's up the street from my house is hiring. And he was like, that they're not gonna hire me. I got neck tattoos. I was like, bro, the guy who literally helped me in the drive-through had a whole tattoo on his face. What are you talking about? He was like, but it's not enough. I was like, yeah, but they do tuition reimbursement. Like, you have to think the long game.
Yeah.
So I was like, you're thinking right here in the straight and narrow. And what ended up happening, he ended up getting locked up, but not for drugs. He got locked up for something else, and he's out on bail. But even with that, the fact that he was locked up, and I told him, like, you don't want this for your future. Like, I understand. I've been there. Like, your back's against the wall. You want to provide. You feel this as your duty as a man, and I get you. But what's gonna happen if you end up doing 20 years behind bars? Like, what was the point? Yeah. Don't you want to be there for your daughter? Yeah. I was like, right now, your daughter's not going to remember all this hard times right now. Go work at Wendy's, go work at McDonald's. They do tuition reimbursement. Go to school or go earn a trade while you work there. And they're essentially paying you to go do it. They're making you better. Like, learn to leverage your resources. Go become a barber. Go become an electrician. AI is not coming for those type of jobs. I just saw something like that. So, like, go be a plumber, go be an electrician, go learn HVAC, go learn these trades that it's recession proof. It's like you said, it's not sexy work, but it's good work. And now he's come home and he's like, yeah, man, like, I'm done. And the whole thing is like, I don't want to do what Matt Chandler calls moralistic therapeutic deism. Like, where I don't want to just hit him with law. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, like, all of this is showing you your need for Christ. Like, you have this hole, and not until you learn to trust in Christ, trust in the sufficiency of Christ. Like, not until you get to a point where you're just in a deep surrender and you say, you know what, God, I'm going to trust you. Yeah. Every step of the way. Like, regardless of how hard it is, I'm going to do it right, because I'm going to trust that you're going to make a way, that you're going to make things better. Yeah. And he's at that point now, but it took him having to do a couple days in the Bing. And I'm like, I'm like, bro, like, if you keep going down this path, all you're doing, like, you're already in the system. The second time the judge sees you, it's no longer mercy. Yeah. It's no longer that they're going to view you in a certain way, and it's not going to go good for you. So, like, you're still 21 years old. You can still, like, change this. Yeah. 10 years from now, your daughter's never going to remember this hard season. Yeah. And you could be better. Yeah. No,
that's good. I think too, like, it's urgent. You know what I'm saying? The situation is urgent. And when we live in this quick age, everything I want in an instant, you know what I'm saying? It adds another layer of pressure. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think the reality, I think a lot of young men, and even men in general, just need to be more self-aware. And they need to build that skill of self-awareness. And I think just understanding time, understanding the future a little more. 4 years is not that long, but 4 years is coming no matter what.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in 4 years, we're going to be in 2029. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be here in 4 years, whether you're in trade school working to get a certificate, you know what I'm saying, or not. Like, you could do it or not. 4 years are coming, though. Like, the time is coming. So it's your choice. Like, you could do something productive with the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or you could miss the boat. You know what I'm saying? And be waiting and trying to get this fast money that's just gone with the wind. You know what I'm saying? It's like a vapor. Yeah. So I did a presentation this morning. We were talking about peer pressure, and I always set things up. I introduced myself, like, hey, I'm Jonathan. I'm with More to Life. We're a youth development program, and we wanted to equip you to make healthy choices, because your choices affect your future. Yeah. And then I'll go ahead and tell them, but I'm going to speak it in layman's terms. I'm like, at the end of the day, you're going to choose your heart. You may think your choice today doesn't affect your future, but I'm going to tell you this from my own life. Do you want hard now, easy later? Or do you want easy now, hard later? And like, what do you mean by that? I was like, well, if you want the easy life now, meaning
if you don't want to do your schoolwork, if you just want to laugh, goof around all day, chill, have fun now, you're going to have a hard life in the future. 20 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, I wish I did my schoolwork. I wish I took my work seriously. So do you want hard now or hard later? And I said, because if you do hard now, you like, I understand homework is not fun, but if you do your homework, you study, when you get your job and you do it with excellence, and when you don't cut corners and you do all the hard things now, you'll get the bag later. You're going to get a nice, easier job. You're going to be able to work remote. You're going to be able to travel, do all that. If that's what you want in the future, go through the hard now. And they're like, they say, I'm not here to paint the brush. I'm like, no. Choose your hard, and where you want it hard now or you want it hard later.
That's facts. It's good.
Yeah, because that's what, at the end of the day, that's what the young boys need. That the girls need, they need a father in a way that's going to show them what a good man is. And the young boys need a father to kind of show them how to, going back to what you said earlier, how do you navigate this world? How this world is not designed to help you. How do you overcome? How do you build resilience through that? But yeah, let's land the plane here, because we've shared some testimonies and all of that. So what I want to leave parents, youth work, I want you to reflect, when you're thinking about young boys, the best thing you can do is not remove the obstacles, but leave the obstacles there. Let them learn how to navigate through those obstacles. Love what you're doing with creating safe spaces, like for them to even process their pain. Like the fact that he was skating around, like what was going on, he was like, all right, is this a safe space? Can I share it? Yeah, we're not going to. This is a judgment-free zone. You can share. We're not going to look at you crazy. So they can learn that they're not here to perform for happiness. And I love what you said. Like, you're modeling that honesty. You're modeling that vulnerability. So like mom, dad, youth pastor, learn to model what it looks like to be vulnerable. Within, some discretion. You don't have to tell everything. When I go in, I tell a whole bunch of stories. I tell them how, I'll get pulled over for the police officers, how it went well, how it went bad. Little by little, depending on their maturity level, I can share a little more. I may withhold some information. I'll tell them straight up, hey guys, before I was doing this, I did not have the best life. I was out selling drugs. And I'll tell you from that experience why you shouldn't do it. And it gives them like, oh, you're not just the person. Age myself. Remember Dare growing up?
Yeah, of course.
The one thing that
You're not that old, man.
Yeah. The one thing I used to hate about Dare is that the person would come in saying how drugs are bad, you shouldn't smoke, and then you catch them on break smoke, and then you're like, yo, what's going on here?
Picture that not lining up.
Yeah, so like if you're watching, what I'm trying to say is be the same person you are in front of them. Like, hypocrisy is a turnoff even for young people. So yeah, this is Baffled. If you have any questions, guys, feel free to link them in the comments. Make sure you hit that like, you subscribe, follow us wherever you're listening to podcasts.